DC, Dave the Pickup Artist with you this weekend, and exactly 50 years today we had the Goose Lake Festival. It was Michigan's Woodstock. Bunch of bands, some of the best bands in the country at the time, and from the UK also. There was 10 years after. And this week, Third Man Records is released live at Goose Lake. Let me give you a shot of that sticker. That's the Goose Lake, I guess the trademark. Take the shrink off. Got a distorted picture of the Stooges. This is basically a soundboard recording. It's basically bootleg quality. Very cool. It was a weekend event. The second day is when the craziness happened. It was very hot. You had a lot of people running around nude, a lot of nudity, a lot of drugs, some craziness. Obviously, you get a festival that size. It was a little bit more organized, but there was some craziness that crept in. You had a Mountain was one of the bands on there, and they had a fan get up on stage when Mountain was playing, and Felix Pappalardi bashed him over the head with his bass guitar. So, yeah, we even had some violence. There was a lot of drugs. One of the more irrelevant drugs that was going around, there was this white powder that it turned out to be horse tranquilizer, and they had an LSD rescue tent that not only for the fans but also for the musicians, including 3 of the Stooges, a guy from SRC, and a guy from Brownsville Station had to visit that tent. They also had a groupie tent where they stash groupies, what they called sizzlers. And if any of the musicians needed any groupie accompaniment, it was available for them. Unfortunately, it was basically too hot to fornicate, so a pretty crazy thing. The stage was pretty interesting. It was a revolving stage, and what it did was it was set up so while a band was on stage, the next band could set up and they could go on immediately after the band before them went off stage. And all the bands had 45 minutes to play. They basically had to pull the Stooges set. They had to pull the plug on the Stooges set because they wouldn't stop playing. And the band that was after them, I think it was called the Third Power, complained that they were ready to go on and the Stooges wouldn't stop playing, so they just pulled the plug on them. So you hear all that in this album. This is a very cool insert. Actually, this is the first part of it. Back has a good shot of the and I have video here of some of the posters and some of the action that was going on. The Goose Lake Sun was a hippie newspaper that promoted the event. And also on the front they have this ticket information. Very cool stuff. This is a very cool insert. When Iggy had a problem with Dave Alexander, the bass player, and he demanded that, since this was a big gig, one of the biggest they played, that Dave abstain from drinking, and apparently Dave was missing practices, drinking problem. So Dave drove to the show with I think it was Scott Ashton, who was the drummer, and they had taken, before they left, they had taken some barbiturates, and halfway to the concert, they decided to pick up a case of Pabst Blue Ribbon. which they consumed on the way. And actually, yeah, Dave was pretty wasted, and Iggy claims that there was no bass on the album. There is bass, but it's a little sloppy. But this is the concert that Iggy fired Dave Alexander. And yeah, basically all the Stooges were wasted. Iggy got dosed too, but the other guys could apparently keep it together. And after the show, Iggy doesn't fire people. What he does is he just refuses to work with them. He told the other members of the band they weren't going to work with, he wasn't going to work with Dave Alexander again, which basically fires him. And but yeah, the album's, it's bootleg quality. It's a great little curio. You know, it's just a very nice souvenir of the event. And apparently there's a movie, which I'm going to have to look into, a DVD movie or something. But yeah, pick it up. It's probably not something you play every day, but it's good to check out. If you're going to pay the hundreds for the Fun House set, you definitely want to have this in your collection too. But yeah, that's it. 50 years ago today. Take care, everyone.